follow.
It's a pleasure for the first time to welcome a guy from the land down under to the Trackmania Live. I don't know how late it is, but I assume it's later than in
We
Europe.
don't
But
talk about that.
we're not talking about that. Okay, moving on. But the important question: how are you feeling now, Nick? Are you still energetic, or are you wanting just to go to sleep?
No, I've been streaming for 9 hours. I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, because that is the thing that sticks out the most. Because I try to do
Yep,
this sort of
definitely.
streaming stats, and every month I try to showcase who streamed the most hours. It's one name that is always up there, and most of the time on number one. How do you find motivation to stream that long? After 2 hours of talking to people, I'm dead, but you still like 8 hours, 9 hours a day.
I have no answer otherwise. I could probably give it to you, but yeah, like I just love streaming, and it's pretty easy once you get a chat going, and once you it just rolls by. Like I don't know how it can be so long sometimes, and it just happens to be. Let's not talk about was it July last month? Let's not talk about how many hours I did that month, but it's a lot of fun. So that's the main thing.
Hmm. Yeah, this is the first time I'm actually doing an interview with you, so I guess I can introduce people to you as well with asking you a question about when did you start streaming? How was the introduction into the streaming world of Trackmania?
It was 3.5 years ago. Actually, I've been streaming for quite some time, but I didn't start with Trackmania. I used to be more so a variety streamer, but I did do a few different things, and Trackmania, just the community here is so good. So I just that's my main thing now, and I love every minute. So that's really cool to see.
Hmm. Yeah, when would you say that you maybe made a change from being sort of a guy that plays a lot to mainly playing Trackmania?
Yeah, well, I've always played TM since the Trackmania original. That's a long time ago now, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I just I had a little bit of a break in 2018, I think, and then after that, I just kind of picked up a bit of the TM streaming, and found a few people there. Like I used to do a bit of Rocket League and GDA and a few of other excuse me, others, but yeah, I don't know. It just happened to stay with Trackmania for the most part, and I really enjoy it.
Hmm. And what would you say that what did you do in your early days of Trackmania? What was the part? Now we see you maybe playing. I think you play a lot. I said that in the video I did about what streamers you follow. You pretty much do everything. You try to test
Mm.
yourself against the best players in the Zelda Cup. You play RPG maps that are ridiculously long. You build trial maps that are way too long. But what did you start with in your Trackmania career?
Yeah, well, I think as I was like saying with the variety streaming, I think a lot of it was just a bit of building and a lot of online. More so recently, I think, as you said, I kind of try a bit of everything. I do like competing. I unfortunately am not the best, but I still like to give it a go. And currently, I'm building a club campaign. I've been doing a few competitions here and now, but yeah, it's a bit hard because like a lot of them are so late. So you got to find a bit of a balance.
Yeah, because that is something I think spam is the most vocal about that, at least from being sort of a guy with a big voice in the community, that Trackmania events should be scheduled towards people outside of Europe as well. If not, you're not going to attract those people. You are doing this, but you're staying up really, really late. I
Yeah.
was sort of sad to see or hear you once during this Rater Cup, but do you think that is a problem Trackmania has, that it's all competitions are aimed towards European, or is that natural?
Yeah, it's a big question because like I would love to see a lot more Australian tournaments or American tournaments or whatever, because it always seems to be 2000 CST, whatever it is, and that is 4 a.m. in the morning. So it's pretty tough. But yeah, obviously there's not enough players compared to Europe in Australia, so it is a little bit hard to find what would be the correct answer for that. But we do have like a Trackmania Oz Discord. We've got like a stream going sooner or later, but yeah, I would like to see some competitions just kind of outside of that main 2000 or
Yeah.
whenever it usually gets played. There's a few earlier comps, which sometimes spam hosts, or a few in the weekend, which I can play a bit earlier, and I can stay up for that. But yeah, there's no real answer for it. because obviously there's a bit less player base there, and I'd love to see like some players be interested in competitions, just say like the Australian community again. But I don't really know how to set forward like, oh, there's a competition here at this time because yeah. So I don't. I would love to have the answer again, but yeah, it is quite difficult, and that's what I have to personally deal with. But yeah, it would be really cool to see. But yeah, I don't have an answer, unfortunately.
But I guess, at least in my eyes, I understand event hosters want to aim it towards when it's suitable for the majority, and majority is European. But
Yeah.
and the problem is that this game is so European based and it's so French based that we don't have a lot of players, like you said, in Australia. Do you think that it's time for maybe Ubisoft and Deo to test the markets? They have said that they want to move to maybe Brazil. They have said they might be move to Asia, but they have never mentioned Australia, at least in my interviews. Do you think
Mm.
it's somewhat forgotten by Ubisoft and Deo?
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's forgotten maybe, but I think a big thing is like I oh, yeah, I don't know how to say it because we've had the discussion before and it's like I would love to see it with more like just because Ubisoft has a whole load of Twitter pages and stuff throughout the world. Like for the Australian one, for example, they could post, "There's the new Trackmania. There's this competition happening or whatever." So I feel like the feedback would be really easy to show, but I don't personally believe that that Nadeo's like interaction between what they're like, even with the updates, for example, like you don't really hear it except
Mm,
from the sources, but some people might not know where that is. So it's
mm.
a bit,
Yeah,
I would
I mean,
really like to see it improve a little bit, but I'm not really sure what to say to them to be
yeah.
like, let's look at the Australian audience or let's look at the American audience or whatever. So
It's kind of a big topic because we say Ubisoft Nadeo, but at least personally, it feels like it's maybe just Nadeo because I don't see that power of Ubisoft coming in that often.
mm,
We saw maybe they sharing a tweet here and there and maybe a news article on the day itself, but the rest of the year is pretty empty. And maybe you said Ubisoft has its own account in each every country. Imagine if they over time try to promote it again and again, then maybe we can get some communities outside France, outside Europe.
yeah, I think at its core, like there's just some simple feedback which like why don't they just show it and give us be like, this is what's happening, how can we do this if we give feedback through that. But I think yeah, it does come back to Nadeo themselves. I think they're a company which in the past haven't really liked giving that information straight away, and it's a bit of a step forward with this new game, and they have done a few things, but I would like to see it step up a little bit, and I think that would definitely help it.
Hmm. And not want this to be coming into like a marketing podcast between me and you. You're here to talk about
Yeah,
yourself.
true.
You're when would you say that your stream sort of popped up from being maybe somewhat to the hardcore scene? Maybe you have a small audience yourself to being, at least nowadays, I think pretty much your name is out there to everyone who is watching Trackmania. When would you say that you became somewhat known in the community?
Um, I really started putting a lot of effort in towards the end of last year and a bit of the start of this year. So definitely with Spam, I've played with him in the past, and I think a few people have definitely come over from him. So shout out to Spam. But I think it comes with the hours which we discussed at the start of the interview. Like I've been trying to put in a lot of hours. I don't want to be known as the guy which only does it for like a lot of hours. I can't keep that up. But I think putting in a lot of hours does come back to
Yeah.
be people seeing that channel there. But yeah, hopefully the the rise does continue. With the new game, it definitely did help. I did try and put a lot of hours in for that. So it was
Hmm.
really cool to see.
Yeah, and recently you became a partner, if I'm correct, on Twitch. I'm not too into what the affiliate and partner is, a difference there, but I understand it's a big deal. How does it feel to become a Twitch partner now?
It was, very unexpected. I didn't think I would, ever get there, that's for sure. I've, had a few people say, "You've always said that you won't get it," and I definitely didn't believe I would ever get there, but, I guess mostly it just gives you that little bit of a tick of, approval to showcase to everyone, but, yeah, it was very cool. That's been a personal goal for a long time. As I said, I didn't think I'd ever get there, and it was finally achieved, so that's, very cool.
Hmm. But if you're talking then about your future in the game, you said that you're not going to be able to pull off these numbers, at least in the streaming world, like 8 hours in average a day, if not more. The first time I discovered you, or at least the moment I remember, is I believe you always were up there on La Bomba's challenge. So you are like a skilled player at heart, right?
Yeah, I've had numerous hundreds of hours, over the years, but, I have tried, like, doing little competitions here and there, even if it's just maybe not the online competitions, like, I did a few back in, TMX back in the day, so I have, I I guess I have been in the scene for a while, I just didn't really push myself out there as just say as a Twitch streamer for a little while. So it's cool to see that I've gotten a little bit of support behind me, and hopefully in the future maybe a few competitions or something. And who knows?
Hmm. Yeah, but do you have any plans about what you want to achieve in the future? Now you have achieved being a partner on Twitch.
Hmm.
Do you have maybe becoming a better player, becoming a different kind of streamer, something you want to host for your stream? Do you have any plans for the future that is somewhat concrete?
Yeah, there was a big thing, as I said, with the competitions. I would like to
Mm,
host like a weekly one, but the current server status and the spectating isn't the greatest in the new game, so that's a bit of an issue. But I'd definitely like to, as I said, I'm currently building a club campaign that's pretty fun. Um, but I would like to look at trying to get like a few more Aussies into it as well, and maybe do something in the Aussie community. That would be really cool. But haven't really thought ahead. Definitely the Twitch partnership was a pretty big shock. So that was a nice cherry on top. But yeah, I don't really have too many plans for the future. I would like to compete as much as I can. I don't, as I said, I don't think I'll ever be the top, but I think competing is really fun. Even if you set your own goal and then you do try and achieve that, that's really cool, and that's what I go for. I think.
mm. If you want to become on top on something in Trackmania, I think you should start a Trackmania podcast because your English, your voice beats me in no time. So I think people are they're bored of hearing my somewhat broken English. So it's about time that some proper English speaking starts a podcast because you are made for this, right?
That's very kind of you to say that. I appreciate that. I have, I think that it helps with the mic. I personally don't think I
Oh
have
yeah,
that deep
that's
of
the
a
reason.
voice, but
Yeah.
but thanks for saying that.
Mm. But the final topic from me, I have some other guests, so I need to respect them as well. But what do you think the future of this game is going to be? Do you think it's going to be great? Do you think it's going to eventually go back to what it was in Trackmania 2 Stadium? Do you think maybe it's going to die out? What is your feeling at the moment about this future of this game?
I think there's a couple ways to look at it, and what I personally believe, looking into the game when it got released, is that it's a new, fresh slate, and they've got a goal for like esports and Twitch side and bringing in new players. That's a really good way to like look at it straight away. Now they've got to work on it, and hopefully they get the problems fixed, which people have tried pushing. Like there was a few like the simple AIs and or UI, sorry, um, and the server side, as I said, I would like to see fixed, but maybe I'm not sure if they're working on anything of that. But I think the future is looking really good because, as I said, fresh start. I don't think if they kept with the old game, it really wouldn't have gone anywhere. So they definitely needed to start with a new game. Um, it's been a pretty good launch from all the streamers I've seen. I've watched a few YouTube videos as well, and it's looking like a pretty much everyone loves it. It's now that they have to focus on pushing the problems, which, as I said, and then maybe looking at how to improve the esports side and getting it out there a bit more. That's what I would like to see.
Hmm. That's some positive words to end it on. If you guys want to catch Simple Nick, like I mentioned, he's the easiest guy to catch in Trackmania because he's the most live, but also recently his YouTube channel is boosting. He's promoting a lot there. So I believe both of them is Simply Nick, right?
Yep, just Simply Nick. Thanks.
It's Simply Nick, so it's simply Nick there. But thank you so much for stepping up, staying up late. I think this is the latest interview at least I've done with a guest. So appreciate the time. You're breaking some records here.
I appreciate you having me on. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. That's it for Simply Nick. Next one up is Link after a little break now. Thank you a lot, Simply Nick.